Thank you for joining us live here at the Pursuit of Purpose studio. I'm Rob.
I'm Chuck.
And we are bringing you another live episode of the What Are We Doing series. Today, our topic for discussion is
the mindset of victory versus victim.
Yes. And not only that, but how to develop and practice a mindset of victory versus a mindset or a victim's mindset. And, you know, it's so tempting and easy to fall into the trap of a victim's mindset, isn't it?
It is. It is. And because, you know, if you think about it, and as counselor coaches, we address this often, is too often people work from a position of fear of losing rather than anticipating winning. And maybe they just weren't taught through the years how to identify a win.
Right.
You know, whether the full day is a win. I mean, how many times have we been in lengthy competitions? I know for sure as a competitive, as an athlete, and you were an athlete coaching and all that, I was outmanned so many times.
Right.
So the victory wasn't going to be, we put more points on the scoreboard. The victory were going to be little wins that I could have along the way.
Right.
And I'm thankful that I had not only parents, but other coaches who taught me how to see that. So I didn't have to go home and pout all night. They go, well, here's a good few things you did well. Other than that, I probably would have had that victim mentality. Oh my goodness, we're never going to win. And I thought, man, what a waste. But we know we see people like that. And hopefully we can help with some of that today.
Right. And one of the things that lends itself to a victim's mindset, I've noticed, especially in my life when I have fallen into the trap, and don't be confused, ladies and gentlemen, I have been a practicer of a victim's mindset.
Oh, me too. I have. Yes.
So I don't ever want there to be any confusion that I'm not preaching.
Right.
I'm talking from my own personal experience.
Right.
So having been a victim and practiced that mindset before, I feel like I can speak somewhat intelligently about, you know, how we fall into that.
For sure.
And one of the things that I've noticed with myself is that when I see, like, say I want to achieve a goal, and even if I make that goal and I didn't set a new one, I start to look at it as though I didn't really win.
Right.
Like I feel unfulfilled.
Right.
Part of practicing a mindset of victory is never allowing yourself to become complacent or satisfied in a moment, in a win.
Right.
There's no finish line in life.
Yes.
Even when you reach that end, that final transition to whatever comes next.
Right.
When we reach that point, we're not finished.
Absolutely not. We're designed to be compounding people. We're designed to take this victory to the next level,
right?
The next victory. That's what we do. We keep growing on each and every win. I know that's conceptually could be a challenge for some folks, but I'm hoping that people will, if you stop and thought about it, if let's just say it's doing something around your house, like maybe you're doing some home repair and you get the home repair done. Well, is that it? Okay, now we can live out our days, or put the house on the market, or do I just go on to the next project? And is this one going to lead to that one? Like, oh, okay, here's ideally what I want to do. Well, I got to do a few of these preliminary goals to get to that. Careers work that way. Developing a family. I don't talk to my 29-year-old as if she's still 9. I've had to keep growing and growing.
So I'm a little mad at you now, Chuck, because you went from our discussion, now you went into meddling, because now if my wife's paying attention to this show, she's going to make sure that I don't ever become complacent and make sure that my list keeps growing and growing. Right. She doesn't want me to fall into a victim's mindset. Right. So in, being a supportive spouse, she's going to naturally develop me a wonderfully long and thorough list now.
We call them honeydews in the South.
Well, she's going to, now that if she's watching this episode, she's going to change her language because of you. I blame you. She's going to change her language to, this is your growth and goals list. So that, it's your fault.
It's my fault. Get her on the phone. Yeah. I will fix all my wrongs.
Thanks a lot for that, by the way.
I will say this, though. Here, I'm going to give you one you can take home. If she goes down that road, you can say, I'm not being complacent. I'm content.
Yeah, okay. I'll let you, I'll bring you in that conversation. I'll make sure to call you live and put you on FaceTime and let you help me in that discussion.
I will help you.
Yes.
I will help you. Rob, leave the room. You don't need to see how this works. You don't need to see how the soup is made. And then I'll get her on the phone, ma'am.
I think that's going to go over about like a lead balloon. So I've got something. We're gonna digress a little bit. We're gonna go off the rails a little bit. We'll come back to this topic.
Okay.
But in this mentality of developing and functioning in a mindset of victory, I have had an opportunity in my life,
yes,
to do something with someone who has been a guest on our show, and you and I, through the course of our business, have made lots of amazing friends, developed amazing relationships,
right.
And we've had some great opportunities to help other people grow. Well, one of those opportunities placed itself squarely in front of me. Right. And so the big announcement that we have to make is that I personally have taken a position of employment with Montebello Home Care.
Yes.
I have been brought into their family. They have brought me in with warm and open arms.
Good.
And it is an exciting opportunity to expand our horizons together. Mr. Mark Montebello has brought me in, and there are just enormous things that we can see on the horizons.
Yes.
For all of us working together.
Right.
It is such an exciting time. They did give me a fancy title, and it's exciting to hear it. I'm Chief Operating Officer of Montebello Home Care.
Yes.
And so
I have to say, I kind of like titles sometimes.
Some people do.
Yeah.
Titles kind of make me nervous a little bit. I don't know why.
I mean, I don't worship at the altar of titles, but I don't mind being called dad or friend or even boss sometimes. I just got back from working with a bunch of kids at church camp, and one of them started calling me boss. I guess maybe he has a job. I don't know. I'd say, hey, you guys go over there and do that. Yes, boss. That became kind of my nickname for the week. I'm like, I don't hate it. Okay. But Chief Operating Officer. And if you guys want to go back and check out the episode with Mark, you will find that he's a very intelligent, very innovative guy. And he has a lot of qualities, not the least of which is that bigger picture and a growth mentality.
Yes.
And so that makes perfect sense that he would see the value in bringing you on to say, hey, Rob, help me help myself, my intentions, and these people that work for me, and some of which have been loyal for years and years and years, to grow.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to bring in that growth spurt, if you will, growth expert.
He just called me a spurt.
He's a spurt.
That's a strange thing.
There's
a new title.
It's about titles, man.
Title.
It's about titles. I want Rob to have every title he deserves, friends.
Oh, gosh.
Yes.
I'm not sure I do. Thanks a lot for that. That's two marks against Chuck in this one episode. Now, he helped my wife create a to-do list for me, and now he's given her the ability to call me names. Like, what is this? I thought you were my friend.
When I have strike 3, we're off the air.
Right.
See you next Tuesday. So,
well,
it's going to be exciting. I'm so excited. I've been privileged to kind of sit in on a couple of chats when Rob and Mark were doing some of their planning and their future casting, and it is fun. It is fun to see just that atmosphere of growth. And I hope you have that. If you don't, give us a call. That's the kind of stuff we love to have influence over, to give you just fresh ideas, fresh thoughts, fresh feedback, because that's where growth happens. You got to turn earth.
Yes.
You got to flip dirt if you want things to grow.
And that's part of this, having the victory mindset, is seizing an opportunity when it presents itself and believing in things that are right.
Yes.
Acting with faith and keep going. Don't let yourself become intimidated by a circumstance or an opportunity, but seize it and capitalize on it. Even in failure, there is victory.
Yes.
Even in a circumstance that is unfavorable, there's growth.
Right.
And even when you feel like you have lost, there's opportunity.
That's right. One of the first things we ask when in the more preliminary conversations with some people who become our clients is, give us an idea of what you've done that you thought would have gone better. You thought would have had better results, and it didn't. Maybe had some, but not what ideally you hoped it would be. And not that there's anything wrong, but that gives us a starting point. Initially, it tells us where their mind has been, and then it also kind of tells us where they want to go. and then we can just start filling in some of the contributories from there. And so basically what we're saying is what you may have thought wasn't a victory really was.
Absolutely. And I don't ever want to preach at anybody or be necessarily overly religious necessarily on our broadcast. Mm-hmm. But for those of us who operate in faith, whatever that representation is to you personally, but to me, in my walk in life, I believe that my steps, as long as I keep my walk in faith and take action accordingly, my steps are ordered by God, by my higher power.
Right.
And I will continue to take those steps.
Right.
Because I have to operate in faith. I have to take that action.
Right.
In order to find my victory in every circumstance.
We're told in one of the letters that there is a precious promise for each and every one of us. And that promise it's not fixed and finite on one particular subject. It can have multiple subjects, career, family, what have you. Now, how do we engage that? And that's where the rest of that passage comes in. We can talk about that later. You can, send us a comment and I'll tell you what scripture it is and all that. But I like to bring that component to folks who come to us in some level of, I'll call it despair. I don't want to overemphasize it, but they find themselves a bit more on the victim end than they prefer.
Right.
And so I said, well, you realize there's a promise to be kept here. It's already made for you. Now we just have to do the engaging things to make that promise so.
That's right.
The victory,
that's
if
right.
you will.
So what is a good daily practice, Chuck, something simple that you do to place yourself in the mindset of victory?
Well, I like to start my day.
Put him on the spot, by the way.
Here we go.
He wasn't prepared for that.
This might be strike 3. Hang on. Okay. What I like to do in the mornings, some of which I got from you, some of which I combine with other things, is to start my day with affirmatives. Things I'm thankful for, people I'm thankful for, and that also includes the opportunities that I know are coming. I've already looked at my calendar. I know what's going to happen today. That's when I'm sitting there with my coffee in my little semi-dark room, and I pray and I meditate on things that give my mind the best possible chance to see measurable victory, to use our word today. And there's other synonyms, but there's no other way I can think of to start out to better ensure. I like the word ensure because I can't guarantee it because, life may happen,
right.
But I'm giving it the best possible chance by starting out with those affirmatives every morning.
And that's great. That's something simple that you can control, that no one can take it away from you.
Right.
It's not circumstantial. It doesn't depend on your environment.
Right.
And those are important elements to practicing a mindset of victory, to develop and maintain a mindset of victory.
Right.
Finding things that are simple practices that you can do every day that no one can stop you from.
That's right. That's right. I agree. Well, of course I agree, but I like to focus on the more objective things as much as possible because goodness knows the minute I leave my house, now I'm subjective. There's cars around me. They're going as fast as I am, if not faster. There's weather. There's, whether folks are attending their sessions on time, whether they're not, too many subjective things.
Right.
So the more I can inject my objective things I can control, well, that to me gives me the best chance.
There's a fascinating aspect to the thing that you said that you like to do, the affirmations. You said you like to be affirmed, but what you really said was that you start your day with gratitude.
Yes.
You find a way to give thanks for whatever it is that, what's in your life, who's in your life, what's to come. You find a way to give thanks. And when we put ourselves in an attitude of gratitude, the day can't help but become ours.
That's right.
We are owning victory right then.
There you go.
When you become grateful, you put yourself in a place of abundance that no one can stop.
Right.
No matter where you are in life, no matter what you have or think you don't have, if you can place yourself in a mindset and an attitude of gratitude, abundance becomes yours right then and there.
Absolutely.
And there's, countless stories of this, but when you begin to operate from abundance, guess what happens? Abundance comes to you.
That's right.
You don't get what you want. You get what you are.
That's it.
So if you want something, become it.
Right.
If you want to be wealthy, if you want to be successful, if you want to, whatever it is, if you want a victory mindset, you have to become it. And one of the key elements in that is just what you said, developing an attitude, a mindset of gratitude.
There you go. One of scriptures, there's all the kind of little phrases that we can, put on t-shirts, but one of it is, I take hold of the prize. That implies I've already won. It's already there. Now, to take hold of it, probably, I would say, given the nature of our business and the nature of this show, is it starts with a mindset.
Right.
My mind tells me I've already won. Now I just have to go practice the things that are going to bring it to me. And there's your attraction.
That's right. So one of the things to be mindful of in your circumstances and throughout your day and we don't want to focus too much on the negative, but how do you know if you're in the opposite way of gratitude, or how do you know if you're working against yourself? Mm-hmm. Well, here's a telltale sign. Something that we have a prevalent practice in our society is a belief of entitlement.
Ooh,
the
yes.
entitlement belief, that belief system is a victim's mindset.
Yes.
It says, by very nature, it says that you did me wrong, so you owe me. The world owes me. Everyone somehow owes me.
Right.
And you cannot have victory living in an entitlement mindset. It's impossible.
That's right.
In order for you to have, and you know what else you can't have in an entitlement mindset? Gratefulness. You cannot be gratitude. You cannot live with an attitude of gratitude if you believe everyone owes you something.
That's right.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. This is going down that trail just a little bit, and I'll make it brief in the interest of time. Occasionally, I get the privilege of working with people, sadly, who have been on I'll use the word just for emphasis, the victim side of, say, like maybe an accident, like a car wreck or something along those lines. And they realize that one of the only first things they must do to begin to make things whole is they're going to have to file a lawsuit. And you know how many times people tell me they really don't want to do that? And it's not that they're being pressured. They have to be basically oriented that that's about the best way to put some things back in balance. But they know better than to live that way.
Yeah.
And now, and maybe in the beginning, they're a little bit more justice driven, but after they're in it for a while, they really don't want to stay that way. They really just want to get back to living their best life.
Absolutely.
And so, but they also know that without accountability, then we don't necessarily have a balanced society either.
Yes.
And so they're kind of participating in some future influences because, that, who knows, from their case could come regulations that we never even considered,
right,
and things like that. But I just want to applaud the fact that a lot of them don't want to stay that way. They really just want to live their best life.
Well, I can tell you from personal experience, one of our guests on the show in the past was a local attorney and friend of ours named Malachi Dawes.
Yes.
And he owns the Dawes Law Firm. And I can tell any of you out there that need that sort of help, especially with a personal injury or a car wreck or something like that, please talk to the Dawes Law Firm.
Yes.
They operate with integrity, high ethical standards, and good character.
Yes.
I can tell you from personal experience, and that's where I'm going with this. A while back, I think it was about 2 years ago. I can't remember exactly, but 2 years ago, I actually was in an accident.
Yes.
I was hit from behind, and I wasn't thinking about suing anyone. I didn't even really consider myself a victim. But I called Malachi as a friend, just as a friend. And I just wanted his advice. Did I do the right thing? That's all I was asking. And when I called him, he immediately kind of took charge of my circumstances because he didn't want me to be a victim in the circumstance.
Got you.
And I am a terrible client because I don't like to think like that. And anyway, bless his heart, he did an amazing job. He fought for me when I didn't even know it was necessary. And he definitely won my case the way that it needed to be handled.
Right.
And things went well. But how many times do we hear of someone or hear about people in general having these things occur and they take hold of that victim mentality and then they ride it for the rest of their life. And they wonder why failure follows them wherever they go.
Yes.
And it's because they adopted and adapted to the mindset of a victim.
Right.
And
Right.
had they put that aside and begin to learn lessons from the circumstances and begin to build with an attitude of gratitude that, hey, they're still here.
That's right.
Hey, there's opportunity.
Right.
Hey, life's not over.
Right.
They could have created an entirely new realm of success from the perspective they gained through that experience.
Yes, they could have. And your story is an outstanding example of, despite some aches and pains and soreness and a few other maybe business oriented things that you have to participate in, I woke up the next morning, life moved forward.
Yes.
Just because I was in an accident doesn't mean my kids don't need breakfast, and I don't need to go to my work and my responsibilities. And so I can tell you, most everybody that I have visited with, and I do work for Malachi, and so I think that's an excellent endorsement for him, because he does do it with integrity. All of them, I've had very few who want to, play with the idea of, I could just sit here and wait till my lottery check comes in.
Yeah.
All of them are so eager to get back into the game because they know that's ideally where they really want to be.
Absolutely.
It's their identity. I still identify as a mother, as a wife, as a provider, father provider, and things like that. And so that's when we are, I think, confronting that potential of perpetual victimhood. Say,
Yes.
no, I want to go back to where I had my best victories. I had my victories long before this accident. I became, and I want to keep becoming.
That's right. That's right. And, we would love to hear from you. Do you have a practice that you do to start your day, to start the day with the mindset of victory as opposed to a victim's mentality? Do you have something simple that you do that maybe would be a great tip for other people that have joined the show? If you do, share it with us. We'd love to hear from you. And today is another cool thing that we've never tried before, never done before here at Pursuit of Purpose in our podcast. We're actually live right now on TikTok. This is our first time. So if you're out there on TikTok joining us live, thank you for joining us. We appreciate our audience. We look forward to expanding our reach in the TikTok world. So thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. But we would love to hear from you if you have anything at all that you do that helps you stay in a mindset of victory, or if something you do with an attitude of gratitude that you practice daily. Things like that are important, because oftentimes we when we feel down on ourselves, or when we find ourselves in an unfortunate circumstance, we feel isolated.
Yes.
And the reason we ask for these comments or these suggestions is so that other people understand they're not alone. We all go through this.
Right.
All of us.
Right.
And we want everybody out there in the audience to know that we're all in this together.
That's right.
And we're here for you. We're not here to preach at you. We're not here to be the authority on everything.
Right.
We're here to encourage you. So let us know what you do.
Yes, please do. And understand, if you do find yourself in the position where you're entertaining victim ideas, that is part of the counterbalance that nature has. It's our obligation to push from those back into victory. And I know it sounds a little bit preachy, but I want you to understand, don't beat yourself up to go, man, I have been sitting in this victim place far too long. Okay, it happens. It happens. People come in all the time. But the reason they come and visit with us about things like this is because they don't want to stay there. They just don't really know how to get out. And that is exciting, to work with people who want better. And that's what we want for you guys. So please do comment, reach out, and let us know what some of your best practices are. We'd love to share them.
That's right. Oh, we've got a very important listener, viewer right now on the show. And she happens to be one of the greatest contributors to my life, and the person who I'm the biggest fan of.
Okay.
My wife has commented, and one of her things that she does, and it's actually pretty fascinating, she looks at our 7-year-old to inspire her with an attitude of gratitude. Because for those of you out there that don't know this, we have a 7-year-old little boy. He's our youngest. We call him our caboose, or our little miracle, because we didn't really expect him in our lives. And he has been one of the greatest blessings that we could ever imagine. Having never expected it, you can't really say you hope for it,
right? But
better than we've ever hoped for.
Right.
And he truly is amazing and inspiring. And that's a great thing to do for inspiration of gratitude. That's a wonderful practice. And I bet as a mother or a father, dad, grandfather, if you have that opportunity to admire a little miracle in your life,
right?
What a way to start a day with an attitude of gratitude, right?
There you go. Absolutely.
And we had Ray Stelly, who's also been a guest of the show. He commented that he plays to win versus playing not to lose. And that's an important aspect of life too, because if you focus on playing not to lose, then you're focused on losing.
Yes.
So we get what we focus on, right?
Absolutely.
We get what we talk about. We get what we look for.
Right.
And that's important. You play to win. You focus on the win. You don't play not to lose.
Yeah, that's a good point, Ray. Thank you. Yes. It reminds me of learning how to drive, and my driving instructor would say, focus on where you want the car to go, because that's where it's going to go.
That's right.
If you focus to the ditch or you're worried, you're going to start drifting that way. He said, so he kept pointing down the road. I'm like, well, don't look left or right, I suppose. So thank you, Ray. Good point, friend.
I wonder what his instructor would say about him now. I've driven behind him, and I'm not so sure where his focus is. He's definitely not focused on helping me today. He's, throwing all these things out there. And now we know my wife's actually watching the show.
Yes.
So you and I are going to have to talk after this episode, my friend.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, exactly.
Ma'am, you're welcome.
Well, for those of you in the audience, wherever you may find yourself, YouTube, Facebook, X, TikTok, we sure appreciate you joining us today. And thank you for your support and participation. Thank you for listening. And we're excited about these announcements about me being able to join the Montebello Home Care team. And just so that you understand and know, we are not by any means stopping our Pursuit of Purpose podcast.
Right.
It is going to continue. In fact, I would imagine that there will be some increase. There will be some new opportunities presented as a result of these new ventures.
For sure.
So we look forward to the future. My wife says, thanks, Chuck.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You are welcome.
So there you go. But anyway, guys out there, thank y'all for joining us. Thank you for allowing us to become a part of the pursuit of your purpose. I'm Rob.
I'm Chuck.
And we'll talk soon.